Good morning, everybody. Auronnj here with another Final Fantasy VII Evercrisis video, and today I'm going to answer a question I've been getting a lot, and that's equipment slots. Like, what's your main equipment slot give you? What's your secondary equipment slot give you? What do your 3 sub-equipment slots give you? Which weapons should you kind of build in those? Well, let's go over what those equipment slots do for your characters, what like R abilities are, C abilities. Let's just kind of break that down in a very simple way so you have an understanding of what kind of gear you want to be building for the characters in your party. Now, to do that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to party and I'm going to go to my co-op party, which is just Cloud. Now, apparently Cloud has pieced out. His little graphic is not showing up. And here as well, he is completely in the dark. So Cloud has gone to bed, but even though he's in bed, we could still see his stats right here and his abilities. Note that I have unequipped everything I can from him, including his sub-weapons. You can never unequip your main weapon. You must have one of those equipped, but let's start breaking this down. The first thing I want to do is I want to show you a little graphic I made that gives you a breakdown of the stats and abilities that you get from each weapon slot. From your main hand weapon, that thing you can never unequip, you get 100% of the stats on that piece of gear. You get the combat ability, or the C ability, and the R ability. From your secondary weapon slot, which is right underneath that main weapon slot, you get about 55% of the stats. Now, in game, I think it tells you 50, but you'll see here in a second that it's more than that. It was more like 55 when I was testing out the numbers earlier. So let's just say you get about half of the stats from that piece of gear. You also get the combat ability and the R abilities on there. And then from your 3 sub-weapon slots that you will eventually have 3 of unlocked, you again get about half of the stats. You do not get the combat ability from those, but you do get the R ability. So that's just a little graph, a little quick start here on what you actually get from those slots. Now, as an example, if I long click this weapon, the Murasame, Cloud is getting 177 physical attack, 130 magic attack, 95 healing from this. He's also getting the C ability, Thunder Strike, which if you have this weapon, you'll see him use that a lot in battles. And he's getting this R ability, Boost Physical Attack. Now, this has plus 16 points. These things level up on a point system and all stack with each other. This is the first kind of complicated thing that you run into here. So if we go look at Cloud right now with just the Murasame equipped, and we go to his, let's go look at his abilities here and his R abilities, you can see that we have Boost Physical Attack already at level 3, because once you hit 15 points for this skill, it goes to level 3. Once I hit 25 points for this skill, it will go to level 4, and then so on all the way up to level 7, or, if you only have 1, it's at level 1. Now, what does this mean? Well, at level 1, boost attack, it was only giving me plus 10 and plus 5%. At level 3, that's plus 60 and plus 15. So a big jump in attack, and one of the big reasons why the Murasame is such a great weapon, because this boost physical attack level 3, I mean, that's a lot. That's plus 60, plus 50%. That's a big deal. And I'm getting all of that just from this one level 40 sword. So that's great. Now, also on here, well, that's the only R ability I'm getting from here, but you do get R abilities from your equipment, your gear, your clothing also gives you some R abilities. So you can see Cloud right now is also rocking Boost Physical Defense plus 4 and Boost Critical Potency plus 4. That's not enough to take those to level 2, but he is sitting at a nice level 1. And if he could catch any more, like if he catches another piece of gear, like one of the weapons has even just 1 point in Boost Physical Defense, it will level it up to level 2, which goes to 15%, which is a nice jump, right? So that's what he's getting from his gear. And this is where you want to pay attention to things like, well, maybe I want to equip the Murasame Battle Garb. This will give me Boost Physical Attack even more, right? Oh my goodness. Let's throw that on there, and it'll give me Levin Blade Arcanum for lightning ability damage plus 35%. I'll tell you what, let's throw that on there. Boom. Now my Boost Physical Attack is still level 3. I haven't got it at 25 yet, but I'm closer. I'm at 21, and you can see I'm creeping towards this big jump from plus 60 to plus 100 and plus 15 to plus 20. So I hope that's kind of making sense. Your R abilities all stack with each other. So both this and this are giving me Boost Physical Attack. As I continue to level those up or find other pieces of gear, I can continue to put points into Boost Physical Attack, making Cloud a better physical attacker. Makes sense? Cool. And then I have the lightning one on here as well. Now, let's go look at your secondary weapon slot next. I'm going to click this, and remember when I put my graphic on the screen that said you get about 50%. I put 55. Let me long click this purple sword right here, the butterfly edge. This thing has 31 physical attack, 24 magic, and 32 healing. Now, my Cloud is sitting at a stat line of 400 physical attack. If I was to hover this, that would go up to 417. Okay, 417. 17 is a little more than half of physical attack 31. And in fact, when I was like kind of calculating this out, I would keep getting somewhere around 55 to 60%. That's what I'm saying. You get about half of these stats. So, and I don't get all 31 of that attack, but I do get 17, putting his number to 417. Now notice his HP is going up here, but there's no HP stat on the sword. That's because the Butterfly Edge has boost HP. This has 4 points of boost HP R ability. 4 points is not quite enough to take it to level 2, but it is enough to give Cloud plus 25 HP and plus 5%. That plus 25 HP and plus 5% will take him from 1050 HP up to 1128 HP. So if I wanted to make a Cloud that had a lot more health, one thing I could do would be to find weapons or clothing sets that had boost HP and really try to ramp this up, right? I mean, you get this thing to level 10, which I haven't seen that ever in the game. It takes 100 points, which is a lot. You get 250 and 100% boost. Now, keep in mind, these stat boosts are not, it's not 100% of this number you see on the screen. You're not going to get another 1,000. It has to do with like their base stats, and I'm not like a database data mining guy. I don't know what Cloud's like base stats are. Leave that to the data mining people or something like that. I'm just showing you in practice, this is what that gives you. Now, since it's your secondary weapon, it will also give you the ability of that secondary weapon, which in this case is Tough Barrier. Not a move I particularly want my Cloud having, so I would rather give him something like the Buster Sword here, which gives him Braver, gives him access to like a non-elemental with a cross sigil damage move on it, gives me this debuff that he can do, or I'm sorry, crit chance up, and when matching sigils are destroyed, you get that sigil modifier. So this is a pretty good move. Buster Sword's a solid piece of gear you have access to early, or I could go for like Bloody End, Healing Wave. You know, you could click around right here. One of the other things to note is that on your secondary weapon, this thing right here below your main one, you must equip that character's weapon type, which means for every character that you're playing in your main group, you want to be leveling at least 2 of their weapons, so you're getting all of those stats, all of those leveled abilities. And then if you can find good synergy between the R abilities, you can really start, you know, ramping them up in level. Okay, now let's go to sub abilities for a second. Sub weapons. You will eventually unlock 3. You can see you have to be at player level 15. I'll probably get there like tomorrow. It's finally the weekend, so I can do a little grinding in this game, but I'll probably get there about tomorrow. With your sub weapons, you get again about half the stats. Let me show you in practice. Remember last time I tried to equip this thing and I went from 400 to 417? Exactly the same. My attack went from 400 to 417. It's the same kind of stat increases that you get by throwing it into that secondary weapon slot when you equip it as a sub weapon. The big benefit to sub weapons are, look at this, I can equip guns, I can equip fists, I can equip staffs. There's everything. You can equip any other character's weapon in the game to your sub weapons, and that opens up everything. It means if you have some like really big time physical attack, like let me go down here, let's filter this by what's a character that probably has a lot of big attack things. Well, where's Glenn? Glenn, come here. You got big axes and stuff. So let's filter this by Glenn's big axes. Let's say this guy right here. Oh man, it's got 36 attack. If it maxed out, it'd have 513. Let's say that's a big number. But say you've been leveling Apology in Hell, but you're not playing Glenn. Well, that's okay, because you can take your Apology in Hell and you can equip it as a, guess what? Sub weapon on Cloud. You get that. You'll get the attack, you'll get the magic attack, you'll get the heal, and you'll get this boost attack. Now, does Glenn have a boost physical attack? Of course he doesn't, because that would have been too easy. So let's turn the filter off here for a second. So bye-bye Glenn, we'll confirm that, and we'll go back here. Of course, I didn't do it. Reset filters, a filter, great. Now, I could go through here for a while and see if I could find another boost. There's boost physical attack, War Machine from Barrett. So let's throw that one on there for a second and now go back to Cloud's R abilities, Oh, did we pull it off? Let me equip that. Let me quick. Do we have another boost physical attack here? Abilities. Anyway, let's just go back to the list. So I equipped a sub weapon with boost physical attack. Now I go to Cloud's abilities here. My boost physical attack is at level 3 yet. It's at 22 points. I need to get it to 25. So I could keep kind of like looking for that. Boost physical attack level 3. Let me make sure that actually affected it. Let me take that off. Remove. Complete. Okay. Main weapon. Boost physical attack. 21. So, okay. It's at 21 now. When I equipped it as a sub weapon from Barrett's gun, it went, this says 2 points boost physical attack, but when you equip a sub weapon, how many points did I actually get? Only 1. So you only get half. That's a big deal. I just learned this myself. You only get half of the R abilities point total when you equip it. And in fact, I bet it's that way on your sub equipment as well. In fact, if I click R abilities here, sub equip weapons will reflect 50% of the points shown. So you can click that sub weapon ability right there and it'll give you the breakdown of what you're getting. So for boost physical attack, I'm getting 5 here, 16 here. Let's see if I can find, does Cloud have another sword that gives boost physical attack? If not, I'll just use a different one here, R abilities. So let's see, you can click this little menu right here and it's kind of a nice little toggle. But okay, let's just do boost physical defense. This has boost physical defense 2 points, but you can see right here in this menu, it only gives me 1. So if I were to equip that, I would now have 1 point in boost physical defense, even though this gives 2, meaning that you get half of the R ability from this slot and half your R abilities from this slot, but still very useful for building out your R ability stacking with your armor set and your main hand weapon ability. Now, there's one more thing I wanted to mention about gear before I move on, and I hope this is kind of making sense. Materia slots. So right now I only have 1 materia slot open. I will unlock the second one at level 50, and I will unlock the third one at level 70. What these do, like this one right here, is physical ability damage plus 20%. That is not giving my Cloud, and this is how I understand this. If I'm slightly wrong on this, somebody correct me in the comment section and I'll pin it and make a correction. But this physical ability damage plus 20%, it's not giving Cloud 20% more physical ability damage. It's not what it's doing. It's giving this slot that. And what you might be thinking, but materia is magic. How are you getting physical damage? Well, you go down in your materia a little bit here. You have like Quake Blow. Quake Blow is, guess what? A physical damage move. So you want to put a physical damage move in a physical damage slot. Just equip that. You want to put this physical damage move in a physical damage materia slot. When you go down to like, eventually you'll have some of these that are like, let's look at Mirasame, because this is where we're getting these from. Eventually Mirasame has Sigil Boost 1. Now, this is really nice because sigils defeated by matching sigil material during attack shift count +2. So if you equip a triangle sigil materia in that slot and you are sigil breaking a boss, you get 2 additional breakpoints when you hit them. Massive. It can turn, like, this is where you can get really fine with your building for beating certain hard bosses later in the game. Equip some materia in some sigil boosting slots, and you cannot let those bosses get off those devastating attacks. But we'll have a lot more to say there as we get further into the game, as we need to be messing with that a little bit more. You can see right now I'm at character. Let me hit the home screen. I'm at account level 12. I've been pushing story a lot, but I've had to work for the last 2 days because the game came out on a Thursday. And I've had a sick kid, but this weekend I'm going to hit a little bit harder, increase that level, and keep bringing you guys some good content. So let me know what you think about this ability or this video. I hope it brought some clarity to this issue, and I hope y'all have a great weekend. I'll see you next time. Peace.